Hey guys, the average moviegoer here today, and whilst we are all in quarantine, I thought this would be a self-isolation. I'm just reviewing random films. I am a huge Guy Ritchie fan, so over the next day or two, I'll be reviewing Lock, Stock, which I watched 2 days ago, and Snatch. Snatch is one of my favorite films of all time. Anyway, but today we're going to be talking about The Gentleman, and which is Guy Ritchie's newest film, which I missed in the cinema because I was a bit too young to go see it. It's an 18. I don't think I'd be able to get in. I guess it would have been worth a try, but then again, so yeah, I watched it last night, and I am going to be doing a review on it. So as a fan of Guy Ritchie, as a fan of Lock, Stock and Snatch, I had pretty high expectations for his film, especially with the cast, and I am happy to report I love this film. If I were to rank it, I think it's better than Lock, Stock, but it's not. I don't think it's as good as Snatch. Maybe it's because I've watched Snatch so many times, but I think Snatch is a funnier film in my opinion. But anyway, let's just start talking about The Gentleman. So I think the best thing about this for me were the characters and the cast. For me, the standouts were Charlie Hunnam as Raymond and Hugh Grant as Fletcher, and they have a lot of back and forth. And Matthew McConaughey's great, and especially Colin Farrell. I mean, even hell, Bugsy Malone was good in it. Colin Farrell's boys, the toddlers, is what they're called. It's pretty funny fight scene with them. The toddlers is what they call themselves. And everyone just gets great scenes. The woman who plays, I think it's Michelle Dockery, is I think that's how you say her name. The woman who played Matthew McConaughey's wife in it, she was also great. Henry Gold, everyone in the movie's great. Henry Golden's in it as Dry Eye. It's as his introduction, but his introduction's really funny. The way Hugh Grant introduces Dry Eye. I won't spoil it, but the line he says it's pretty offensive, but it was really funny. About Chinese people. It's not really about Chinese people, but he it's a pretty offensive what he does. So anyway, everyone's great, and Eddie Marson's in it. I think Eddie Marson's a pretty underappreciated actor. I really like him in World's End, Hobbs and Shaw, Atomic Blonde. Um, yeah, I really like Eddie Marson. Is what I'm trying to say. He's also been in some other stuff. But yeah, everyone just gets great scenes, and some of my favorite scenes like that I can think of with Colin Farrell. My favorite scene with Colin Farrell is a part in a kebab shop. Charlie Hunnam has this great moment in an alleyway, and with Matthew McConaughey, you see this in the trailer. Although there is a really good scene between Matthew McConaughey and Henry Gold in a bar that's really good. But like, there's a part you see in the trailer with Charlie Hunnam and Colin Farrell, and they've got the guy in the boot, and it was like his name is Fuck, but spelled with PH, and it's just like, so it's fuck. The scene after that, Matthew McConaughey has a brilliant line. That again I won't spoil because you have to watch this film. It's brilliant. And so yeah, great cast of characters, great scenes, and what I like about the story as well, basically, what most crime films like, it's not like action and comedy. They're genres of films that they appeal to the mass audience. So when you have action and comedy, you're bound to get a lot of people to come see it. And crime thrillers and drama, they're obviously popular genres, but they don't really appeal to the masses, in my opinion. Um, uh, they appeal to me certainly. I don't mind like slow crime dramas and all that. I enjoy them. But basically with Guy Ritchie, the way he makes his films, say if like Snatch for example, there's a lot that goes on in The Gentleman. Same with Snatch and Lock, Stock, which I've got right there. There's a lot that's going on in it, but if it wasn't Guy Ritchie, this film would be like his film would be like 3 hours if they were made by anyone else because they'd be so slow. If they were made by like, I don't know, Tarantino or Martin Scorsese, I reckon it would at least be 4 hours long. It's another thing that Colin Farrell does that you'll need to watch the film to understand. But yeah, like Guy Ritchie, like his films move at a pretty fast pace. He doesn't spend too much time on a single plot line, which makes it a little less boring and a little bit more approachable to our people who don't like crime thrillers because they think they're too slow. And this film's really funny. This has some really funny moments that again you need to watch the movie. And the film, after rewatching Snatch and Lockstock, I think this movie's probably a bit more violent than Lockstock, and also a bit more violent than Snatch, because all the violence in Snatch is basically like a guy like Mac Jack the gun, when he holds the gun to his head, and it will just like pan to the left, and you see the blood splat. A lot of the violence is like that, with some exceptions, like the guy getting his arm. You see a guy a loose arm. You see what else do you see in Snatch? The dogs. After the dog fight, the final box match is pretty brilliant. And Lockstock, a guy gets his foot blown off with a shotgun. But there's not like a whole lot of it. In The Gentleman, there's some pretty violent scenes. So I think this movie is more violent. So I've covered great cast of characters, great dialogue, very funny scenes, very violent, very engaging, very fast paced. I actually have my one problem with this film is the way it's told. So like a lot of people said they were lost during the first act of the film. I personally wasn't lost during the first act of the film. I was actually able to follow it, but a lot of people seem to think that they weren't able. Well, they say they weren't able to follow it. I wouldn't say that, but my problem with it is so like when Hugh Grant tells you something, you basically don't know if what he said is true because he's writing like a script, and so as you're watching the film, you don't know what's true. But in the third act, they start doing all these twists, and a couple of them were predictable. There were some twists I didn't see coming. There's one that I won't spoil. There was only like one or two I didn't see coming, but there's one of them where I was like, oh okay, I predicted that. And there was another one that was so obvious I don't even know, because Hugh Grant was like, oh, this is what really happened though, isn't it? And I'm like, well, duh, but I won't spoil it. Even though it's obviously when you watch the film, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna give this film. This may be because I'm biased, but like there's no flaws that make this film like completely ruin the experience for me or brings it down. So I'm gonna give this film a 10 out of 10. And thank you guys for watching. See you next time on The Average Moviegoer. Stay safe and wash your hands, and watch this movie.